So when Paul talks about practice, we're practicing to actually be in the moment that we're in, to be aware and awake to what is going on right now, and to respond in something of an open, fresh way rather than a defensive way or using a strategy that I've chosen to use 100 times because that keeps me safe. So when Paul is talking about the difficulty in practice and maybe better said, the resistance to practicing, what he's really talking about is the difficulty to bring ourselves into this moment and to be aware and to act from out of that awareness rather than my old habits, as Paul would say, that keep me separated. For me personally, it's a practice of finding authenticity. For me personally, when I was growing up as a teenager, I would look around at the men in my father's generation, and what I mostly saw was, how to say it, non-authenticity. That doesn't quite say it. I think the word that came to mind was bravado, was kind of people acting in ways to make an impression rather than representing something real. And we all know what it's like to be with someone, or when we feel it in ourselves, that's present and really reflecting what's going on for them authentically, rather than in some acting, some pretending. It's real and it's alive. And for myself, I got hungry for that sense of authenticity, to find a life that I could actually express something that was real to me, rather than live a life that was pretending, trying to be something, rather than actually just being it. The sitting meditation is the heart of Zen practice. Zen really means meditation. And meditation, in its most simple instruction, is just what we did tonight, of sitting down, being aware of our breath, tuning into our experience internally, and watching and observing. And observing in a way that's not full of judgment and criticism and blame. Because if you really start looking inside, many of us, I'd probably say most of us, start to find that inner critic that's always judging, that's always contradicting, that's actually, in some ways, probably trying to help us, but in the moment, it's actually getting in the way of that authentic expression. We don't like to be judged. We're afraid to be humiliated. We're afraid to be embarrassed by saying something stupid. Maybe a friend of ours makes a joke at our expense, and it hurts. So we carry around, and we're buffeted around by all of these things that are happening in our lives. And practice, starting with meditation, but as Paul said, also going to Home Depot, whatever situation we're in, if we can be present and observant and noticing our experience, we start to find what we might call our true self, or that self before thinking, that authentic person behind the mask, behind the pretending.